that car as a gift from two business people last spring. But recently, the organization sold the car to an employee, not Sharif Willis. Today, detectives came to talk to the alleged victim of the incident. They describe him as very shaken up. And as for the dispute itself,
I mean, it's pretty minor is what it really is over. Nothing major. Is maybe major to some people, but very minor if you look at it.
Sharif Willis is an outreach worker at the Southside City Inc. office. The staff here says it did not receive a single phone call today asking about Willis's arrest or his future with the organization.
You know, until it's charged, I don't think there's anything to say. So, and after that, I'd be happy to talk. So we want to, give the man a break and give the situation a break.
Sharif Willis served time in state prison for murder during the 1980s. A check of his record shows he's been arrested on minor charges since he got out of prison in late 1991. And in 92, as head of the Vice Lords gang, Sharif Willis formed United for Peace, a coalition of local street gangs. And the authorities today got an extension until 4 p.m. tomorrow to charge or release Sharif Willis and the two other adults. Don?
We have billed this, and it has been billed in other accounts, as a robbery and assault. But the way you're explaining it, it doesn't look like a stick-up. That's not what we're talking about, is it, Mike?
No. The original call came in as a possible armed robbery. That apparently is not the case. It was a dispute over some kind of car repairs or car service, but the exact details of how the weapon got involved and whatever involvement Mr. Willis might have had, still unconfirmed by police.
Thanks, Mike, for clearing that up. Mike Walsh reporting. Thank you.
Now for the latest on the search to find a new Minneapolis police chief. Late this afternoon, Mayor Sharon Sayles Belton announced the formation of a 9-member selection committee. Among those who will help choose a new chief is Councilmember Joe Biernat, St. Paul Police Chief William Finney, and Minneapolis Police Sergeant Barbara Moe. No word yet on how quickly the committee will conduct its work.
For the next 2 weeks, you're going to see plenty of political commercials on television as candidates make a last-ditch effort to influence your vote. Reporter Pat Kessler tells us about the latest ad from DFL gubernatorial candidate John Marty, which pokes fun at Governor Carlson and the source of some of his campaign contributions.
It's worth noting that over 40% of Arnie Carlson's re-election campaign funds came from Minneapolis's richest western suburbs.
It is true that Arnie Carlson raised 43% of his money, $219,000, in 5 Minneapolis suburbs during 1994. But the places Marty calls rich are Plymouth, Long Lake, Minnetonka, Excelsior, and Wayzata.
It's worth noting that Arnie Carlson set up a special program where for just $5,000 you could get special access to him through something called the Governor's Club.
It is a fact that the governor established a Governor's Club for his biggest contributors in 1992. But he dropped the program after harsh criticism from Democrats that citizens had to pay for access to their governor.
It's worth noting, too, that Arnie Carlson doesn't want to talk to me about this, just like he doesn't want to talk to me or the voters about any of the issues. Maybe I should join the Governor's Club.
While it might be clever to say the governor won't talk about this or any of the issues, is simply political rhetoric. It is late in the race, and Marty is trying to articulate some potent political issues on which the governor is vulnerable. He hopes to run a series of ads like this one to get people to take a second look at Carlson and then at him. In St. Paul, Pat Kessler, 4 News at 6.
Now for the record, the Carlson campaign says its average individual contribution this year is $89. Tonight at 10, we'll take a closer look at money in politics in the Special Dimension Report on who gave how much to the candidates for the United States Senate. Coming up next, Rebecca Kolls with a below-freezing forecast and tips to help your plants survive that cold.
And then after weather, a chance for Twin Cities golf junkies to play the greatest courses in America, even in the dead of a Minnesota winter.
This is 4 News at 6.
Presenting the full line of Toro snow throwers. Toro's nimble electric models. Toro's versatile single-stage gas models. And Toro's mighty 2-stage models. With Toro's exclusive power curve technology, whatever the snow, you'll see a powerful performance. Toro, when you want it done right.
I'm George Corporal, owner of Glass Service Company. I'll give you a free box of steaks if we replace your windshield. At Glass Service Company, we use the best sealants, employ the finest technicians, and use the major glass manufacturers to ensure the best fit. I personally guarantee there'll be no cost to you unless you're one of the few individuals with a deductible on your glass coverage. Just one phone call to Glass Service Company will send a trained technician to your home or business. We'll even bill your insurance company directly, and you'll get that free box of steaks.
Life isn't half so risky if you know who to ask.
Alexandra was married to a charming man.
You know how much I love you.
A man kind and thoughtful, or so she thought.
The job is in the way. You're gonna call and tell him it's over.
Now she's finding out he liked other women.
What kind of things you girls do?
Women that he killed.
You put me away, and I'll be out in 48 hours, and I swear I'll get you and I'll get you again.
John Stamos, Cynthia Gibb, Ben Gazzara.
You're not gonna touch me, and you're gonna stay away from my son.
Fatal Vows, Tuesday.
Your weather is being sponsored by your local Jeep and Eagle dealer for the best in automotive sales, service, and value.
Some mountains are over 500 million years old. And while water still covers over 2/3 of them, Jeep covers the rest.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer for the best in automotive sales, service, and value.
Minneapolis has started its citywide fall cleanup. Today, trucks were removing fallen leaves from city streets. Crews will continue their chores for about 4 weeks. Now, if you live in Minneapolis, you'll be given 24 hours notice to move your car off the street before those sweepers come through. Now, if you don't move your car, the leaves won't be the only thing missing from the street. Your vehicle will be tagged and towed to the city impound lot. So it doesn't take a snowstorm to get tagged and towed in Minneapolis.
I hate when that happens. Don't you hate that?
Yes.
Hey, it looks dark out there. Are you forecasting that?
Yeah, it will be dark. In fact, the next hour, I think probably pitch black here. We've got a cold night headed this way. In fact, if you have any of those tender vegetables left or some of the flowers, you may want to get out and cover them because temperatures will be very close to that freezing area. And, of course, we'll show you some areas that we're going to pay particular attention to and watch very carefully. First of all, let me show you what's going on. We got our water garden here. A lot of people at home may have a water garden. And, boy, now that is the time to start winterizing some of your plants. And, yes, you can save these plants so that next year we can use them again. And here's how you do it.
Now, this is an example of a plant that you can bring in winter as a house plant. This is the umbrella palm.
Okay.
All right.
Now, here's the pot we selected. How is this?
Okay, this is good. It's always best to put it in the biggest pot you can because then you don't have to water it as often.
Okay.
You really do use a lot of water. And this one has holes in it. Now, if you have a pot that doesn't have holes in it, that's perfect. But you can still use this if you line it with plastic.
Okay, so we want to maintain that water.
That's right.
Okay, so we've got plastic here. And we'll just put that into the pot.
Right, and that's good. You got some gravel on the bottom, and that'll bring the plant up.
Great, so now this prevents it from leaking, as you can see.
Okay, now I'm going to place the plant in.
Okay, got it.
And you just want to make sure that it all is up all around the edge.
Okay.
And we're going to cut that in the end.
Okay, and then we just top it off with some gravel?
Right, when you put the gravel in, that makes it look really nice.
Okay, so we're just making it look nice. The gravel really has no purpose?
That's right. And finer gravel is probably a better thing to use.
Okay, and as far as watering goes, this must stay moist.
Right, and it can be in standing water, too.
Okay.
But just never let it dry out in winter.
Great, thank you, Michelle. And, of course, the countdown is on to get those plants in. Tomorrow we're going to talk about lilies and how to overwinter those. Okay, our For Your Garden spot photo today is Scarecrow. This was brought to us in compliments of Bachman's, where they're conducting a contest. The best Scarecrow at each store will get $200. Not the Scarecrow, but the family who made them. So a great family project. Right now we have some windy conditions out there. It's cloudy. It's 40 degrees. The wind chill makes it feel like it's 20. Winds out of the northwest at 16, gusting to 24. Our daytime high today managed to only make it up into the 40-degree range. Overnight low last night was in the lower 40s, daytime high about 43 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at the forecast for tonight. Cloudy and cool. Flurries certainly a possibility in some areas. 33 will be the overnight low. Let me show you some areas that we're watching for frost. You can see it's mostly a freeze advisory in western Minnesota. By tomorrow, that low-pressure system that's keeping the cloud cover and the flurries over us will continue moving to the northeast, so we will see some clearing skies, which means tomorrow some sun is in order. In fact, 44 degrees, less winds, but tomorrow night's the critical night. Temperature is definitely down in the 20s. And then Wednesday, mostly sunny. It starts warming up with high pressure, 50 degrees. Your extended forecast keeps the sun around Thursday. Friday, maybe a few peaks with a chance of showers, but take a look at the temps. They do come back up momentarily. And, of course, they will be back down momentarily as well.
All right, Rebecca, thank you.
You bet. Have a nice night.
Well, here is a look at how the networks led their newscast at 5:30. CBS began with the president campaigning in Ohio. He was confronted by a Republican congressman complaining about Clinton's calling the Republicans' contract for America a contract on America. NBC began with a White House memo that talks about possible cuts in entitlements as a way to balance the budget. ABC was live in Amman, Jordan, looking at the preparations for the president's visit for a peace treaty signing. It is the first visit by a president in 20 years. I don't know.
Now we have a look at how Minnesota companies performed on Wall Street today. Top gainers, General Mills, Finger Hut, and Ceridian. Top losers today included H.B. Fuller, Medtronic, and Crave Research. The City Business Index of the 40 fastest growing companies finished down 0.83% to 69.13. And the Dow Jones Industrials closed down as well, 36 points today, to finish at 38.55.
Today's stock information was supplied by Dane Bosworth, who also bring you the Investment Connection.
I remember my Italian grandmother's homemade pasta sauce, made with ripe tomatoes fresh from the garden. Your delicious classical pasta sauce is so good, it reminds me of hers.
And now, try new Classico di Capri with sun-dried tomatoes, reminiscent of that sun-drenched island. And from Genoa, the birthplace of pesto, comes the inspiration for Classico tomato and pesto. Both rich in flavor and tradition. Taste the difference authenticity makes with Classico.
At some places, their idea of a good meal is a burger, fries, and a drink, or fries, burger, and a drink. But right now at KFC, you can get real meal deals starting at just $2.99. Choose from leg and thigh quarter of the Colonel's rotisserie gold chicken, or original recipe, or extra tasty crispy chicken. Individual coleslaw, mashed potatoes and gravy, and a hot buttermilk biscuit for just $2.99. Or for just a little more, you can get all the great food you can eat at participating all-you-can-eat buffet restaurants. Great food, great value. That's the Colonel's way.
4 years ago, Rudy Perpich and the DFL spent us into a $2 billion budget shortfall. Our state's finances were a mess, but Minnesota's Republicans brought taxes and spending under control, and they turned the $2 billion DFL shortfall into a huge surplus. But now Democrats want to go back. They're giving you phony promises of tax relief, and they've got new budget-busting programs for every problem. Break the tax and spend cycle. Stop throwing money away. Vote Republican.
Overall, it's the most powerful line of trucks on the planet. A line of trucks built by people who look at things a little differently. From the company that puts an airbag in every single one. A line of trucks that, from one end to the other, simply refuses to follow the rules. At America's truck stop, the new Dodge.
Tonight on The Late Show, Kurt Russell, Tammy Wynette, and author Alan Zweibel.
Folks, if you don't have a show of your own, watch mine.
Tonight on CBS.
Thanks to the ingenuity of a computer chip, it's now possible to work on your own chip, or drive, or putt, as the case may be. This is the world of virtual golf, which now allows you a virtual endless season here in the North Country. Well, today, the Northwest Racket Club in St. Louis Park opened its new golf center by City Links.
But different from other simulated games, this one challenges players to make every shot count. Today, reporter Bill Hudson took a swing at it.
With bitter winds blowing, it's about time to bid the golf season farewell. But that doesn't mean putting the clubs away. Thanks to this innovation, virtual reality for golfers. 10 championship courses await your play at the touch of a button.
What they actually do is they look at every tree, every water hole, every rock, every undulation to the identical golf course. So when you play Mauna Kea here, you're playing Mauna Kea in the actual golf course.
City Links has brought virtual golf to the Northwest Racket Club in St. Louis Park. As a golfer hits the ball through 2 infrared planes, a computer analyzes the shot for distance and trajectory, placing your ball on the video screen.
If you hit a bad shot here, you're going to hit a bad shot on the golf course. It works identical.
And true to form, my first drive found the lumber yard.
Oh, good shot. Oh, it's going to the trees.
Teaching pro Scott Lear says, different from simply hitting range balls,
The idea is to help players improve over winter, not just maintain their game.
This will give them actual results, though, and they'll be able to see the effect of their efforts through the wintertime. You'll see the improvement on the machine, with their scores.
Should one tire of playing Mauna Kea or Pinehurst, there's always the computer's practice round. Each shot is plotted on the screen to give you an accurate gauge of how you're swinging the club. So while winter's but a few snowflakes away, that golfing getaway's never been closer. I'm Bill Hudson, 4 News at 6.
Buick owners, we know you love the Buick you're driving now. After all, you gave Buick its reputation for owner loyalty. Now, we're giving you something back. The Buick Owner Bonus. Make your best deal on a new Buick, then save even more. Get a special incentive direct from the factory. It's only for Buick owners, and it's only for a limited time. So see your Buick dealer now and save big on the Buick Owner Bonus. Hurry, you've earned it.
We already know Ann Winnie's record on taxes, but Ann Winnie's record on crime is more alarming. Ann Winnie voted against tougher sentences for violent criminals, against building more prisons, even voted against making criminals share a jail cell.
Rod Grams? Rod Grams has a tough plan to fight crime. Longer mandatory jail time, the death penalty, more prisons. That's why Rod Grams has been endorsed by our police. Rod Grams, he works for us. Rod Grams for U.S. Senate.
While spending less on the steak, you're spending more on the steak sauce. They marked down the lettuce, then they marked up the salad dressing. At some grocery stores, it's hard to find a real value. But at Cub Foods, we've made everything a really smart buy. At Cub, you can spend less on 25,000 items every day. So when you go grocery shopping, you'll never experience the ups and downs. Lower prices every aisle, every shelf, every day. Cub Foods, the Spend Less store.
Tonight's sports are being sponsored by your neighborhood Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
With its Chrysler Infinity 11-speaker sound system and sumptuous leather-trimmed interior, the Chrysler LHS strongly suggests Fortune 500. However, with its 3.5-liter 214-horsepower engine, you wouldn't rule out Indianapolis 500. Chrysler LHS, an exhilarating expression of form following function.
I was so glad to hear that the Gophers won.
Well, just a relief for the entire program. I think what they've been going through, both from the public standpoint and certainly from what their own perception of themselves have been going through this past year. But the Gophers got more than an axe when they beat the Badgers this weekend in Wisconsin. The Gophers also got their first Player of the Week award of the season. Yes, junior linebacker Craig Sauer won the league's defensive award after making 9 big tackles against Wisconsin, including this 3rd and 10 sack in the final minute that buried the Badgers for good. When the Gophers have a week off to enjoy their success, Sauer and company certainly earned it. Meanwhile, the Vikings are coming off of their own well-timed weekend of R&R. The team went back to work preparing for Sunday's game at last place Tampa Bay. Now, unlike other divisional opponents like Green Bay and Chicago, this Central Division matchup hardly qualifies as a rivalry. But the Vikings have to take a heated approach and concentrate on themselves as much as the opposition.
We've gotten our ship going pretty well. We stumbled once against Arizona, but other than that, we played pretty good football. And if we can continue to do that the second half, I don't think it'll matter what happens behind us.
Now, one good sign of things to come, the presence of Chris Carter on the practice field today. Carter chipped a bone in his right wrist in Thursday's win against the Packers. Well, look for yourself. Carter hasn't missed a beat. So keep the wrap on his wrist as he continues his Pro Bowl-type year with the Vikings. I watched the very vocal, emotional Bill Blair send his Timberwolf basketball team through a grueling practice at the Arena Club this afternoon. The regular season begins a week from Friday, and injuries are a major concern. And like him or not, the Wolves need guard Michael Williams in their lineup. His right heel is very sore and will limit his preseason practice. Rookie Daniel Marshall playfully grabbed Williams' ankle here, but not for long. Hey, don't do that, man. That hurts. The elimination of the hand check rule has increased offense, but also caused a parade to the free throw line. The NBA wanted to curtail all the holding. The new rule is not a popular one.
I know Kevin was telling me at 4 minutes into the third quarter,
we shot 50 free throws between the two teams, and that's going to slow play up. And I don't know how the fans are going to take that.
Well, I don't think it's good for the game. I think it's good. It doesn't let the game be as physical, but I think there's too many ticky-tack fouls. Now you have the fans booing, and the fans really don't know what's going on, so it's hard for them.
Meanwhile, the NHL is delaying its games for other reasons. In fact, on day 24 of what would have been the regular season, the league finally admitted that it will have to cut back on its schedule. For now, they're cutting 4 games off the season, with each team losing a pair of home and a pair of road games. Which games won't be announced until the league's labor problems are resolved, whenever that is. And those were the plays. Features a truly memorable one today. Ken Herbick's grand slam in Game 6 of the '87 World Series. The Twins already led when Herbick hit it. They won the game 10-5. Many of us remember this day in 1987 and Herbie's slam as the key to that series. Had a terrific time at the going away retirement party at Planet Hollywood on Friday night. Gaetti came in, Bernansky came in. A nice little family reunion. Maddox won the Cy Young Award for those who keep the score at home.
Good. Thank you. Back in line.
I think the day of parole is coming to an end, and that is that if you're sentenced to 10 years, you simply serve 10 years, and that's it. And we treat punishment as punishment. We let the individual know that you're being put into prison because you are being punished.
Under Governor Arnie Carlson, we've enacted truth in sentencing, new laws against sexual predators, tougher penalties for guns in schools, and for violent crimes.
You committed a crime, you were judged guilty of that crime, and now you will serve the time.
Hi, welcome to Subway.
Subway isn't like those fancy New York steakhouses. No stuffy maitre d' or jackets required.
Great vest. Thanks.
But we do have A1 steak sauce. It's on Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Slices of steak topped with A1, plus all the fresh fixins. And at Subway, you don't get a big bill. You get change. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Appetites are required, jackets aren't.
Remember, party, office gathering, or anytime, let Subway custom build a delicious party sub or party platter for you.
There's only one place for the widest selection in front-wheel drive minivans. From high performance to high performance. From the long of it to the short of it. From emerald green to light driftwood. From the value priced to the lap of luxury. From seats that glide to seats that unfold. From grocery bags to airbags. From bumper to bumper, door to sliding door. The one place for it all is our place. The Minivan Store. At your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
I've been a criminal prosecutor and a legislator, but my real training has come as a dad. We've got to make our neighborhood safe. I've fought for tough criminal penalties, and I'll keep fighting. I fought to keep health benefits for families during layoffs, and won. And we're finally making polluters pay to clean up pollution. We're still spending $150 billion a year defending Europe and Japan. That has to stop. Standing up for the real concerns of families. That's what it's all about.
Bill Luther for Congress. At work for families.
Finally tonight, what is 33 feet tall, weighs 18,000 pounds, and now resides at Augsburg College? It's the 24-element sculpture, which was moved by crane from a restoration site to the Augsburg campus today. The sculpture is a gift to the school from Honeywell, which commissioned the work for its plaza 16 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I thought they were getting a big center for their basketball team. When you first started that story, I thought...
Good night.
Rod Grams. First, we learn about 36 lawsuits and liens, bills unpaid. Now he's attacking Ann Winia on crime, when it was Ann Winia who was endorsed by Minnesota's largest police organization for passing tough laws to punish violent criminals. Rod Grams voted against 1,700 more police for Minnesota and voted against $27 million for Minnesota prisons. Rod Grams. Lawsuits, liens, playing politics with crime.
Cheese Whiz cheese spread has 1/3 less fat than butter or margarine. Pretty big news, huh? But will your kids like its great taste on broccoli instead of butter? I'll take that as a yes. Proof once again that Cheese Whiz makes it marvelous with 1/3 less fat than butter.
The people who brought you the Roman Empire and the Renaissance now bring you a pretty darn good ham sandwich. You don't have to be eating Italian to enjoy D'Italiano bread.
We're watching WCCO TV.